He's a New York Jet, but he's got the full NFL ensemble, and as you can see, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, good to see you. Hey, started the career in Kansas City. Couldn't have been better than that. Win a Super Bowl. Now moving on, working with a Sleep Number. You got to sleep well. Of course, being a doctor and all, you know this type of stuff. We'll get to that in a second. Do you expect to be with the New York Jets? What's your thought process of your future?
I certainly hope so. To be honest, when I opted out in 2020, my goal was to go back on the football field, And when I showed up in Kansas City, I broke my hand during training camp, and clearly, there was a vision of moving on with younger guys. So I had a no trade clause, and I decided to waive it in order to play. And the New York Jets gave me that best opportunity to do so. So I went down there, played the last 8 games of the season, and now I'm a free agent. So we'll see how things go. But I for sure set myself up to try to stay with the New York Jets.
Yeah, I am reading, articles, getting ready to talk to you, and it seems like some people think you're going to be back, and others think, well, if he gets a huge offer, then maybe not, which wouldn't be a terrible thing for you. I mean, if somebody wants to pay you a bunch of money, well, that'd be sweet too, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I've never been a free agent before, so it's kind of a new environment for me. There's also medical school on the side that I gotta, make sure everything's stable on that side, which is a good news. So now, I honestly, I think I'm just gonna let my agent work and see what he come up with, and I think for me, it's never really been a number thing. I think it's more of a culture thing, a fit with the coaches, with the mentality, with the type of offense. And I've been really pleased with my 8 weeks with the New York Jets, so I hope to stay there.
How do you explain being able to be successful at 2 things? I'm sure you get asked this probably by NFL people, like, how are you going to do this? Because being a doctor, I'm not a doctor, but I'm assuming that ain't easy. So it takes a lot of attention over there. And then to be an NFL player, professional athlete, that's an insane level of commitment too. So how have you balanced it?
But honestly, for me, it's always been about balance. You just mentioned it. And I felt like, I know it sounds cheesy to say that, but I've been a better football player because I had medical school in my life. It was kind of another anchor in another sphere, which kind of helped me cope with the pressure of playing the game itself, and vice versa. I think I will be a better physician down the road in emergency medicine because of my ability to make rational decision in stressful environment. Like when you're in a football stadium, it's 3rd and 10, it's loud as hell, and you gotta block your guy. You gotta communicate, you gotta stay calm. I feel like those type of qualities are gonna serve me well down the road for sure.
Yeah, and so did you always know that this was going to be your path? I'm sure that's not the right way of saying it. When did it crystallize that this was going to be your path? Let me say it like that.
Well, you know what? When you grow up in Montreal, hockey is king. So it's hard to picture yourself playing in the NFL. And so for me, even during my first 2 years in college, I was playing football because I loved the game, and it was kind of a way for me to channel my excess of energy in order to be a better student in the classroom. And I kind of got a feel for the NFL maybe during my 3rd year in college, so kind of late, and I was like, you know what, I gotta seize that opportunity and do everything I can to make it up there. And once you're up there, you got to do everything you can to try to stay out there. And I was able to do it for the past 8 years. It's been an amazing experience, and the balance with medicine has been sometimes challenging, but let me tell you that it's been that was kind of, I want to be the best football player I can be, of course, but being the first active player to graduate with an MD in 2018, that was kind of my biggest personal accomplishment.
It's really cool. And that includes, of course, winning a Super Bowl. Hindsight's 2020, but if you could go back in time, do you still sit out the year making the same COVID decision that you made?
Yeah, no doubt. And I mean, it was hard to watch the Chiefs, go to Tampa Bay for the Super Bowl and all that thing. But at the end of the day, after winning the Super Bowl in 2020, I went to work for like two and a half months on the front line. And, what I witnessed out there, the amount of sacrifices from the nurse, the doctor, it just didn't make sense to be like, all right, I'm out of here. I'm going to play football. I had to be part of that. I couldn't leave my team. Like, I had a new team and I had to be part of it and try to fight this thing. And I'm going to play football for as long as I can, but I also know that I'm going to be a doctor for the next 30 years after that. So it was important to make a decision that was, kind of in line with those convictions, you know?
So yeah, I'm just hearing it. It wasn't about I'm scared to play football because of COVID. It was because I want to support what was more important at the time. And maybe right.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I was part of the NFLPA task force that was putting in place those protocol with the league. So I knew exactly how safe it was, you know, and I knew that the NFL was doing everything they could to protect the player and their family. So it was really more that idea of like, I can use my energy to serve the greater good of the community in a different way this year by working on the front line. It was never, like you said, about the risk for myself because I was taking more risk working in the long-term care facility than I was playing football, you know?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Uh, can you compare in any way, shape, or form a young Zach Wilson to what you were seeing with a young Patrick Mahomes? That's a really tall comparison, but is there anything similar there?
I mean, I've been in New York for what, 8 weeks?
Yeah,
And over those 8 weeks, I really saw him like grow as a player, and that's what you want to see, you know. And I think he has tremendous potential. Like you look at our passing offense, even with all the players that were down towards the end of the season, I think we had a really good last quarter when it comes to like offensive stats, so yard per carry and passing yards. I think we were like top 2 in the NFL or something like that. So there is a tremendous amount of optimism. And I don't think our record really reflects how close we are to play well in this league.
yeah. Going last year, just looking back on it, going to the Super Bowl, and you had lost to Brady earlier in your career. Here you're watching it over, like I don't know, man. That Tom guy, he's got something special. Were you worried about the O line? Like what were your thoughts going into the game from a
Uh,
distance?
I mean, I remember like back then there was a curfew in Montreal. I was just by myself with my girl watching football on TV. It was pretty boring. Like I was really miserable, and I was, I knew that the defense, that the Tampa Bay defense was playing pretty well, and the game before that, Eric Fisher, our star left tackle, torn his Achilles. We had a lot of injuries. I knew it was going to be like a big challenge, one of the key points to win this game. And unfortunately, things didn't go our way. But it's just life, I cannot blame myself for not being there. Like I made a call, I made a decision. I thought that was the best decision for me, for my community, for my family. At the end of the day, you got to stick with it.
Yeah, you got huge respect for Andy, right? I mean, the way he was supportive for you and the Chiefs bringing you in, all of that. Really cool stuff here. Tell me about Sleep Number 360. Why you wanted to partner with them?
I mean, I've been working with them for like the biggest part of the 2021. I've been using a smart bed 360 for at least 4 years now, and I'm, because of medical school, I think I'm a data driven guy, and that's really what my bed gives me. It gives me that data to better act on my routine, to quantify how well I sleep, how long I sleep, and honestly, for me, like when I look at my pregame routine, there's like exercise, there's nutrition, and there's rest, and rest is a big part of it. Like you cannot look at your routine as a 12-hour shift. You got to look at it from a more holistic standpoint, like 24 hours, and sleep is a big part of it. So yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that working with a good bed helps you perform better on the field.
All right, good to see you. If you end up free agent, I'm in Chicago. You end up as a Bear, that wouldn't be terrible either. It's a great city. You'll love Chicago. But hey, however you want it to work out, that's how I hope it works out for you. Great to catch up and working with Sleep Number 360. Congrats on the Super Bowl and the way you've been giving back to the world is just it's inspiring. So I love your mindset, man. So thanks for taking some time.
Appreciate that, Mark.